Welcome back from that quick commercial break. I'm still your friend, Tobiloba, and this is still Candid Conversations. And I still have with me in the studio, Nasima. She's doing good.
Yeah, I'm
hopefully.
Doing good.
And we're still talking about self-esteem, but from a different perspective. We'll be talking about the impact of self-esteem on how we view ourselves in our relationships. So Nasima, I mean, you last week when we spoke, you shared some experiences about you growing up as a little child and your hair and how it was being picked on by bullies and how you reacted and how you would react differently now. Respond, not react. Respond. You respond differently now, more from a place of power because you now know that you're cool and you're perfect and you're good and you're beautiful and you're awesome and you're amazing.
Thank you.
Because you know that now, right? Now, but my question for you is, now having that kind of experience as a child, through your journey up until now, do you think that kind of shaped the way you saw yourself and the way you allowed yourself to respond, first, to choose the kind of people that surrounded you, to respond to them in your relationship with them? Do you think that background, did it affect you in your choice of the relationships that surrounded you?
It does, definitely, because as I said in the previous episode, the way you react to things, bullies are still going to exist throughout your whole life. It's the way you react to these things that changes. So, for example, as a child, it came in a form of bullies, but then as you grow up, relationship changes. So it could be a friend that is, let's say, bullying you, but using you, or not treating you the right way, or just taking things from you without giving back, and or in relationships, some people end up with narcissists and.
Talking romantically now, right?
Romantically, romantic relationships. Could be even with family, you could be given so much to your family. And we have this a lot actually in African cultures. I have to point that out. For example, you see the first son who's working so hard for the whole family, and the whole family is using him. Brothers, sisters, cousins, everybody, he's sending money to everybody, So that's too much, So you choose actually you choose how to handle it, and you go through these experiences which give you a personality that is supposed to be strong enough to handle this type of characters and this type of things in life. So as a child, of course it does affect you, but that's the thing with it. Let's say that's the stimuli, that's what stimulates it. That's what stimulates your personality. And then it could be stimulated in a good way or a bad way. Good way meaning you will get the trauma, you will get whatever happens, you'll get that trauma. And then you transform it. You take that energy, you make it a good energy, and you transform it into becoming strong, into growing, into realizing who you are, getting to know who you really are, your self-worth, you become self-aware of everything. And that's beautiful. I actually love self-awareness.
It puts you in a place of power.
Exactly. You're so powerful that you don't care what everybody else thinks. You only think we only care what you think, And and that's the good energy. That's when you transform that thing into a good thing. Bad energy is when you actually just keep accumulating. You don't change yourself. You're just I'm not worth it anymore. And this is why some people end up in depressions or anxieties. And that's what actually, in my opinion, that's what triggers it mostly. And these people, I'm not gonna say they're weak. They just don't know how to handle it. That's why it's important to guide them, and help them get through it, because you can still get out of it and be stronger and be the person you're supposed to be.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. But I think I would like to just add to that. You said that it puts you in a place of power. The beautiful thing about self-awareness and self-acceptance is that it's not a fake power.
Yeah.
You know, it's real. Like you either have it or you don't have it. With a 2 minute conversation with someone who doesn't know you, if you're someone who's self-aware, it seeps out through your pores. Like it's an energy. It's like this person knows who he is, and he's confident and she's confident. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely a very important thing, and I agree with you with regards to that. But now back to what I was going to ask earlier, which so that experience, how did it or that those years? Because I know it wasn't, you just shared the experience of the hair, but it was more than that. I'm sure you had to go to school every day. You know, you had to meet with these people. It wasn't like your life was perfect in that perspective, and just that day it happened. No, it was a process. It's not. In fact, before he got the courage to be able to pull your hair and cut it, he must have tried other things, either in his mind before, because I mean they're fearful, very fearful people. Bullies are fearful, so you need to give them that space for them to feel like they can do this and then get away with it before they actually do it. So I mean it wasn't just about that day. There must have been some episodes and process before that. Now that whole experience, do you think that later on in your life it kind of like shaped the kind of person you were? I know now you're strong. Like I said, you're much more self-aware. Anyone who hears you speak will know that you've taken that trauma and those pain and you turn it into something beautiful. You know what I mean? Which I'm privileged to be in front of right here in the studio, which is a beautiful thing. But before you got to this point, do you think that whole experience put you in a place that you would have a couple of lessons for people, from?
Definitely, yes. I mean, as I said, the lesson is to... The thing is, with this, like, you don't really... Because when you don't have that much self-awareness, you need always someone or something to trigger it, So when it's triggered, it's hard, in the beginning to accept. It's hard to just like work your way through it. But once you actually do, it keeps getting better. Like actually, it's something constant, It's not something that is okay, like I love myself and that's it, That's it. I reach the love that I want.
It gets better.
It keeps, it keeps getting better. Experiences keep changing. The people you surround yourself keep changing, and so yeah, like it's just there's no like way that I would say to do it. It just depends on your life experiences, to be honest, and how it depends on your perspective on life as well, There are so many things that go into it.
There are so many factors.
Yeah.
What would you say was your own trigger at some point?
My own trigger.
That turned you on.
It's just you see that, for example, you allow too much,
You allow too much.
Yeah, like some people are really like using you sometimes, and you're like, what? Like why? Like stop.
You want to share an experience? What?
It's just with friendships. Sometimes you feel like you're not getting as much as you're giving, because I know I'm a giver. I give too much, and that's why like even in relationships or whatever, like I don't do halfway things. If I love, that's it. Because I have a lot in me, so I'm like, the person deserves it. So I assume that you deserve it until you prove to me that you don't, Friendship, whatever. It could be relationships, it could be anything. So the trigger is when you actually give too much, and then you're like, you're not getting anything. And also, not even that, you're not growing as a person, because it's important to grow with friends. Like, I'm not gonna surround myself with people who are like stagnant. They're just like sitting there with no goals in life. Like, you have to have people who are gonna help you become something, So these people, they just keep you with them. And the thing with these people, especially if there's like a certain attachment or dependence on them, you will feel bad for walking away, from that, and that's not good, because you can walk away at anything, from anything that doesn't serve you anymore. Just walk away.
Doesn't serve the purpose you were created
yeah.
for. When was the first time in your own experience that you actually looked at maybe a relationship and said, you know what, I deserve better? And how was it? How did you
I don't
find
remember the first time or like the trigger really, but I feel like there's just something I came to realize by like every day. And also I'm someone that likes to read a lot about these topics. So I read about this, I like to listen to experiences. I talk to my friends who've been through stuff like this. So I am someone that likes to project people's experiences on myself. So I'm like, yeah, if this happened to me, what would I do, you know? For example, if I see a woman getting abused, you know, getting hit by her husband or something, what would I do? I always put myself in people's shoes and I'm like, what would I do? Would I be strong enough to, because you're like, yeah, why doesn't she just hit him back? Why doesn't she just leave him, you know? And I'm like in her shoes, like, okay, me, as the person that I know right now to be, would I really like do that, you know? And if the answer is no, I'm like, well, I should actually work on that, because you never know what's gonna really happen and the experiences that you're gonna go through in life, you know. So I'm like, I want to be ready in every aspect of the way.
Can we really be ready?
No, you can never be ready. That's why these experiences still come, you know.
I think we can really be ready.
No, not really.
Let me explain what I meant by that, just for the video.
Oh, I think we
yes.
went to...
What I meant by that was you can really be ready, and I think what it means to be ready is just to be yourself. Now, I believe that once you're out of your place of power, like if you allow me to describe it, I know you don't agree with that, I can see you.
No, I didn't actually understand. Yeah.
Okay, ready in terms of course, you cannot fully anticipate what life brings, because life is full of surprises.
Exactly.
That's why it's life, right? But I also believe that in a way, we're already prepared for whatever life brings if we're truly ourselves. If we stay in our place of power. Prepared might not necessarily mean mentally, but it means you as a person. Not in terms of your ability to anticipate it,
actually,
but your ability to respond to it.
I agree with that. Like, I have this belief, comes from my faith, but I believe in it really, and I believe it applies to every human being in this world. So like, God doesn't burden a soul more than what it can bear, you know. Like, we are already equipped for whatever will come in life. What I'm talking about is the reactions, you know. The reactions, we can do it, you know, because you can see people that are depressed and stuff, but they're surviving, they're fighting, you know, they're, I don't know, the schizophrenics, whatever, like mental illness, they're still fighting, you know. So I'm like, yeah, there's like a certain limit that God wouldn't like cross, you know. And if it's crossed even, then that's not, you know, that's something I don't know much about, but there's like, this is something else. But like, what I mean is, like, we are equipped and we have it in us to fight, to survive, to be better and grow, you know, to just grow, you know, keep growing. And there's no limit to growth, to be honest. There's no limit to growth. That's why I'm telling you, these experiences keep coming for you to grow even more and more, because there's something better for you. There's something better for you. There's something, you can be a better person every single day. You can be a better person. So like, these experiences keep. That's why what I meant by not being ready is that it's not that you're not ready to face it. You are ready. You are equipped, but you're not in a mental space. Don't know how you're gonna react to it, you know. You don't know what you're gonna do. So like, in the end of it, when that experience happens, you're not gonna say, oh, I should have reacted better, I should have done this. No, you're not gonna say it, you know. You're gonna just do it and be proud that you did that, you know. So
I also believe that somehow, from my faith as well, all things work together for good. So I believe that God sometimes prepares us for things that we would experience.
There's good in everything, like even those bad experiences.
Yes.
Like, you hear, for example, people who like discover that they have cancers or something, but that's like for the better. That there is something good with everything in this life.
Yes, there is. There is a purpose.
That's why you should. Yeah, that's why you should look at it from a very positive perspective.
Point of view. I agree with you.